I'm Reed Dahl. I'm the general manager for the Rock Island Rail. The Rock Island Railroad is a shortline railroad. We start in Swan Lake, Mississippi with interchange with Canadian National. We go all the way up through several small towns to Clarksdale, where we have a Y. Proceed on up toward Lula, Mississippi, about 63 miles of track. And we deal mainly in storage cars. We do have a couple of customers on the line, and hope to get several more on the line.
Sumner, Mississippi, a sleepy delta town known as the birthplace of the American Civil Rights Movement, is now the epicenter of a modern railroad revival. After years of neglect, the Mississippi Delta Railroad has a new operator that plans to bring this once prosperous branch line back to life. The new operator is Rock Island Rail, and the management team at this unique short line couldn't be more optimistic about the future. Not only have they resurrected an iconic name and paint scheme, but also the spirit of the fallen flag. With a dedicated team of experienced employees, the do whatever it takes to get the job done right mentality is at the core of their operation, just like the original Rock Island some 40 years ago.
Well, the Rock Island was one of the only railroads that the name was not purchased when the railroad was sold off or went into bankruptcy. Rock Island is also one of the only railroads that you will see where another railroad such as Union Pacific does not have a heritage unit running because they did not purchase the name. After some research, our CEO, Robert Riley, found out that the name Rock Island had not been purchased, and along with the bankruptcy. So he applied for it, filed for it, and we received the name Rock Island Rail. And we have resurrected the Rock Island Railroad.
So when folks, this is more for the rail fan side of things, but when folks say, well, the Rock Island didn't have X, Y, or Z, what do you have to say to that?
We are the Rock Island. So whatever we have, whatever equipment we have today is Rock Island. They may not have had it back in the day, but we're the Rock Island, so whatever piece of equipment we add is truly Rock Island.
Dynamic brakes or not?
Dynamic brakes or not, that's right. So it's the wave of the future.
The company's slogan is Modern Logistics Delivered, and they plan to do just that by offering reliable transportation solutions in Northwest Mississippi. On May 11th, 2020, we were invited to tag along with Reed Daw and Timothy Bell as they pulled a train from Sumner to Swan Lake, Mississippi, with the railroad's first locomotive to wear the reborn blue paint scheme. It's just after 10 a.m., and the two men are busy switching the power around for today's train to Swan Lake. locomotive number 4310 has drawn much attention to the shortline since being painted in April of 2020. The locomotive originally started out as Southern Railway High Hood number 2764, being built by EMD in November of 1969. In the early 1990s, the locomotive was sold by Norfolk Southern to Iowa Interstate, which chopped the distinctive high hood, renumbered the locomotive to 603, and painted it into the company's red, black, and yellow paint scheme. Iowa Interstate operated the 603 until 2011, when it was acquired by GMTX for leasing service. In April of 2019, Robert Riley's Rock Island Rail acquired the locomotive for operation on the Mississippi Delta Railroad, where it remains in service today as the 4310. After receiving paperwork from Canadian National and a short lunch break, Reed and Tim fired up the locomotive for the trip to Swan Lake.
We're excited to be able to run the engines, and of course we got a lot of attention, a lot of people taking pictures, a lot of people looking, pointing, and waving at us. So it's exciting to bring it back. We're looking forward to some more colors that the Rock Island originally had, and it's a great company to work for, and I couldn't ask for a better job than to have the job that I've got, being able to run these engines. They look good. They run good. That's the main thing. But the other thing is, you know, it's equipment that we use every day. They're not museum pieces. They are actually equipment that we use to move freight, and they're a tool. And we'll take care of our tools, but we use them. Challenges here have been basically the track and limited storage space as far as sidings, but 18 years of neglect has taken its toll on the railroad, and you just can't undo 18 years of neglect overnight. So we're spending a lot of time, a lot of effort to bring the track conditions back up to standards to where we can operate at a reasonable speed and get things done in reasonable time limit. CN delivers freight twice a week as right now. They deliver on Tuesdays and Thursdays, and our customers will call, request cars out, or let us know that they have cars coming in for storage. And CN drops them off, we pick them up, and when we have something going out, we shove it out to interchange with CN, and they pick it up and carry it to its final destination, or to interchange again with other railroads to get the products where they need to be. We have currently have cars that go all over the United States from here.
Rock Island Rail is a dream come true for many railroad enthusiasts who never believed they would see the name resurrected from the past.
I think from a different standpoint, it's interesting to see that you could still be an entrepreneur today and you can still make your dream happen. So obviously it was Robert's dream to bring the Rock Island back, even though it's in Mississippi, but it's awesome. I mean, not everyone can say that they did something like that.
Absolutely.
So,
for you personally, just the original Rock Island, why did you like the original Rock Island so much?
My friend actually turned me on to them. Really, I never had a stake in the Rock Island when it comes to, you know, being around when they were around. I don't know, their just story is interesting. It's always like they were like the underdog at the end of the days, and they fought for what they could get, and unfortunately they went belly up, but now they're back.
Do you think it still feels that way because of the shortline situation? Like they've inherited this railroad in really rough shape and now they're trying to bring it back? Do you think they're in a way an underdog fighting for all that they've got?
For sure, yeah, and they're doing a fantastic job fixing what they have now. So, I mean, just time and resources is what they need and what they have on their hands at the moment. So, getting all that stuff taken care of.
Just north of Webb, Mississippi, Reed and Tim would tie onto a cut of hopper cars which were being stored at a local grain elevator.
We do loaded storage, and we have polystyrene plastic that is loaded storage. And we store empties as well for several different customers. Empty tank cars, empty grain, and also empty plastic cars. We move fertilizer for here in the Mississippi Delta for a local company, and we bring them in loaded. They transload those, then take the empties back out. So we have a grain elevator here, and we've just spoken with them, and hopefully we'll start hauling some grain from the grain elevators. We'll be bringing in empties and hauling the loads back out and shipping them around the country. Customer service is what we're here for. The only thing we have to offer is service, and I mean, we don't really sell a product other than service. So making sure that our customers are satisfied, that's the main thing that we're here for. That's our number one goal, to make sure the customers are pleased with our service.
Webb, Mississippi is a rural Delta community with a population under 600. Settlers first established a community here around 1880, and the town would be incorporated in 1905. A railroad depot was constructed by the Illinois Central around the time the town became incorporated, and it still stands today. Under private ownership, the depot has certainly seen better days, but continues to be a well-known landmark at the heart of town. Rolling south of Webb, the train continues at a relaxing pace of 10 miles per hour. Thankfully, it's an easy chase for rail fans who want to maximize their photographic opportunities on the Mississippi Delta Railroad. Reed and Tim both have a passion for railroading. For Tim, it started out as a toddler. We asked him about his interest in trains and how that interest eventually led to his position at Rock Island Rail.
Well, the story all goes back to when I was 2 years old. My dad had me in the car seat, and we was coming across the tracks, and the train came by, and he said, I looked up out of my car seat and watched the train go by, and the rest was history. So every year I got a train set or train DVDs or magazines or something to do with trains. I had every year for Christmas, birthday, I got it all.
So how does it, what does it mean to you to now be the guy that's sitting in the seat here as a conductor and working on the trains every day?
It's amazing, man. As a child, I can be standing out watching the train go by and wave, and they wave back, and from that moment there, I knew that I wanted to be in that guy's seat. Now, when I graduated high school, I kind of had a passion for going to the railroad and everything. So, I went to college and everything. I enjoyed my college career experience, but once I graduated college, I started applying for every railroad, class 1, shortline. Never got an email back about the interview or nothing like that, except for once, and that was for Grenada, and I didn't land that gig. So 2 years went by, and Robert reached out to me about being a conductor over here, and that was just an opportunity I couldn't pass up, because there's going to be a lot of history in the making again with this company. It's growing daily. Some of the best people you'll ever work with in your life. Just an experience. It's just an experience I'm just happy to have.
How does it make you feel to know that what you're doing is helping grow the economy here in Mississippi?
Well, I'm all about doing my part for the economy. With rail service in the Mississippi Delta, it's a great thing. Because back in the day, there was a lot of rail service, and as the years progressed, everything started dying down. It's kind of great to see everything start to relive itself again.
That's awesome. Do you have any advice to people who might want to get into the railroad industry?
The only thing I can tell anybody who's interested in the railroad industry is never give up on your dream. I applied numerous years for railroads all over. I never gave up. I never lost faith.
Do you think never giving up on your dreams is kind of the story of this railroad, you know?
Yeah. Yeah.
Coming back from the grave.
A lot of people would have thought it's impossible, but it's possible.
Anything's possible if you do what? Work hard?
Work hard. You got to stay dedicated to the task at hand. No matter whatever the outcome, you always got to think positive, think on the bright side of any situation you have.
What's your favorite part about running trains here on the Rock Island?
I like switching a lot, which is a plus. I love switching. So switching helps. It helps perfect the conductor. So he kind of knows each move he's gonna make it. It's always great to be 2 or 3 steps ahead. So that way, whenever you're switching, you can always come up with an idea that can save time. Because it's all about being efficient out here.
South of Webb, approaching Swan Lake, the Mississippi Delta Railroad operates over a segment of trackage rated for 25 miles per hour. The track is equipped with steel ties, which is rather unique for a North American railroad.
This rail was put in by the county, who is the owner of the railroad, through grants, and it's about 2.5 miles of new rail, new ballast and steel ties. And when we got here, that track had been upgraded, so when we took over operation of the railroad, we moved the speed limit up and were able to run a bit faster on it than we do on most of the rail.
As the sun began to sink below the horizon, we would capture the train one last time on the upgraded trackage near Swan Lake. Reed and Tim would work late into the night, dropping off the cars at the interchange for Canadian National and picking up more inbound storage cars. We'd like to thank Rock Island Rail for allowing us special access to the Mississippi Delta Railroad and wish them well as they continue to grow their business in the Magnolia State. Thank you for watching Delay in Block Productions. We hope you enjoyed this in-depth look at Rock Island Rail's Mississippi Delta Railroad. Until next time, happy railroading.